Wait, what? Your dinner salad could be making your feet go numb? I know. It sounds absolutely crazy. You've probably been told your whole life to eat your vegetables, and here I am about to tell you that some of them might actually be working against your nerve health. If you've been experiencing that uncomfortable tingling, burning, or complete numbness in your feet, especially if it's getting worse despite eating healthy, then you need to hear this. Because what I'm about to share with you goes against everything you think you know about nutrition and nerve health. I'm talking about 3 specific vegetables that are sitting in grocery stores right now, probably in your kitchen right now, that could be silently sabotaging your nerve function and making that frustrating foot numbness even worse. And the shocking part? Most doctors never even mention this connection. So grab a pen, maybe move away from that vegetable you're chopping right now, and let's dive into the surprising truth about how certain vegetables can actually harm your nerves. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your produce section the same way again. But before we jump in, if you're dealing with foot numbness, tingling, or any nerve-related issues, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I share evidence-based health information that your doctor might not tell you, and you don't want to miss out on content that could literally change your life. Plus, it's completely free, so why not, right? Let's start with the biggest shocker of all. Spinach. Yes, spinach. The vegetable that Popeye made famous. The one your mom probably forced you to eat as a kid, claiming it would make you strong. Well, here's what nobody tells you about spinach and why it might be making your foot numbness worse. Spinach contains extremely high levels of compounds called oxalates. We're talking about 750 milligrams per cup of cooked spinach. To put that in perspective, that's more oxalates than you'd find in chocolate, nuts, or even beets. Now, why should you care about oxalates? Because these little troublemakers are like tiny kidnappers in your digestive system. They literally bind to essential minerals like calcium, magnesium, iron, and zinc, preventing your body from absorbing them properly. Here's where it gets really problematic for people with foot numbness. Your nerves are like high-maintenance luxury cars. They need premium fuel to function properly. Iron carries oxygen to your nerve cells. Magnesium helps nerve signals fire correctly. And B vitamins are absolutely crucial for nerve repair and maintenance. When oxalates steal these nutrients, your nerves start to starve, and starving nerves simply cannot function properly. But wait, it gets worse. If you're already dealing with peripheral neuropathy, diabetic nerve damage, or any other nerve-related condition, your body is working overtime trying to repair and maintain nerve function. Think of it like trying to fix a leaky roof during a hurricane. You need all the materials you can get. Spinach's oxalates can create what I call a nutritional traffic jam, blocking the exact nutrients your damaged nerves desperately need to heal. And here's the really insidious part. Oxalates don't just block absorption in your intestines. They can also form crystals that deposit in your tissues, including nerve tissue. These sharp, needle-like crystals can cause direct physical damage to nerve fibers, leading to increased pain, tingling, and numbness. Here's the kicker. Many people with nerve problems are told to eat more leafy greens for their antioxidants and vitamins. So they're loading up on spinach salads, green smoothies, and spinach-packed meals, unknowingly making their condition worse every single day. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The intention is good, but the result is catastrophic. I've seen patients who were eating spinach smoothies every morning for months, wondering why their foot numbness was getting progressively worse despite their healthy diet. One patient, Sarah, came to me with severe burning in her feet that had developed over 6 months. She was drinking 2 large spinach smoothies daily, thinking she was doing something great for her health. The moment we eliminated high oxalate foods like spinach from her diet, she started noticing improvements within 3 weeks. The research backs this up too. Studies have shown that people with kidney stones, which are often made of calcium oxalate, frequently also suffer from peripheral neuropathy. The connection? High oxalate levels in the body can interfere with calcium metabolism, which is essential for proper nerve function. Now, I'm not saying spinach is evil. It does have some nutrients. But if you're dealing with foot numbness, the oxalate content makes it a poor choice. Your nerves need those minerals more than they need whatever benefits spinach might offer. It's like choosing between giving your car premium gasoline or sugar water. Sure, the sugar water might have some energy, but it's going to destroy your engine in the process. Number 2 might surprise you even more. Tomatoes. Yes, those beautiful red fruits that we use as vegetables in everything from pasta sauce to salads. But here's what most people don't realize. Tomatoes belong to a family of plants called nightshades, and for people with nerve problems, nightshades can be absolutely devastating. Tomatoes contain compounds called glycoalkaloids, specifically alpha-tomatine and solanine. These are natural pesticides that the plant produces to protect itself from insects and animals. Think about that for a moment. These compounds are literally designed by nature to be toxic to living creatures. Now here's the problem. These same compounds that kill bugs can also interfere with human nerve function. Research has shown that glycoalkaloids can disrupt something called acetylcholine, a crucial neurotransmitter that your nerves use to communicate with each other and with your muscles. When this communication system gets disrupted, you can experience increased numbness, tingling, muscle weakness, and even cognitive issues. It's like jamming a radio signal. The message gets scrambled or doesn't get through at all. But the damage doesn't stop at neurotransmitter disruption. Glycoalkaloids can also trigger what's called a cytokine storm, an overactive immune response that creates massive inflammation throughout your body. This inflammation specifically targets nerve tissue, causing swelling that compresses nerves and reduces their ability to transmit signals properly. Here's where it gets really interesting and concerning. If you're someone who loves Italian food, Mexican cuisine, or just uses a lot of tomato-based products, you might be getting a massive dose of these nerve-disrupting compounds every single day. We're talking about pizza sauce, ketchup, salsa, marinara sauce, tomato soup, tomato paste, and even that innocent-looking tomato in your salad. The average American consumes about 22 pounds of tomatoes per year. That's a lot of potential nerve damage. I had a patient, Mike, who came to me with severe foot numbness that was progressively getting worse over 2 years. He'd been to multiple doctors, had expensive tests, and nobody could figure out what was wrong. After going through his detailed diet log, I discovered he was eating tomato-based foods with almost every meal. Scrambled eggs with salsa for breakfast, sandwich with tomatoes for lunch, pasta with marinara for dinner, and pizza at least twice a week. Within 6 weeks of eliminating tomatoes and other nightshades, his foot sensation started returning for the first time in 2 years. The inflammatory response triggered by nightshades can be particularly problematic if you already have underlying inflammation affecting your nerves. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. The existing inflammation gets amplified exponentially. Your immune system starts attacking not just the nightshade compounds, but it can also begin attacking your own nerve tissue in what's called molecular mimicry. Essentially, your body gets confused and starts treating your own nerves like foreign invaders. And here's something most doctors never tell you. The effects of nightshades can be cumulative and delayed. You might not notice the connection immediately because the inflammation and nerve damage build up over time, sometimes taking weeks or months to manifest as noticeable symptoms. That's why so many people never make the connection between their daily tomato consumption and their worsening foot numbness. The lectin content in tomatoes adds another layer of problems. Lectins are proteins that can bind to nerve cell membranes, disrupting their normal function and potentially triggering autoimmune responses. Some people are particularly sensitive to lectins, and for them, even small amounts of tomatoes can trigger significant nerve symptoms. What makes this even more frustrating is that tomatoes are often recommended as part of a healthy diet due to their lycopene content. But if you're dealing with nerve problems, the potential benefits of lycopene are far outweighed by the nerve-damaging effects of glycoalkaloids and lectins. It's like trying to fix a broken window while someone else is throwing rocks at it. The third vegetable that can worsen your foot numbness is one that most people eat almost daily: white potatoes. Now you might be thinking, But potatoes are just vegetables. How can they be harmful? Well, the answer lies in what happens to your blood sugar when you eat them, and why this is absolutely devastating for people with nerve problems. White potatoes have an incredibly high glycemic index. We're talking about a score of 85 to 95, which is almost as high as pure glucose. To put this in perspective, white potatoes actually spike your blood sugar faster and higher than table sugar, candy bars, or even white bread. This means that when you eat potatoes, your blood sugar shoots up like a rocket, and this rapid spike is literally toxic to nerve tissue. When your blood glucose spikes repeatedly, it triggers a process called glycation. Essentially, sugar molecules stick to proteins in your nerve fibers, creating what scientists call advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These AGEs are like rust forming on your nerves, causing them to become stiff, damaged, and unable to transmit signals properly. Think of it like coating electrical wires with sticky tar. The signals can't get through effectively. But the damage doesn't stop there. High blood sugar also depletes your body's antioxidant reserves, particularly glutathione, which is your nerve's primary protection against oxidative damage. Glutathione is like a protective shield around your nerve cells, neutralizing harmful free radicals before they can cause damage. When your glutathione levels drop due to repeated blood sugar spikes, your nerves become vulnerable to damage from free radicals and inflammation. It's like removing the protective coating from electrical wires. Your nerves become exposed and susceptible to damage. The process gets even more concerning when you consider that high blood sugar also triggers the release of inflammatory cytokines, chemical messengers that promote inflammation throughout your body. These cytokines specifically target nerve tissue, causing swelling and compression that further reduces nerve function. It's a vicious cycle. High blood sugar damages nerves. Damaged nerves become inflamed. Inflammation causes more nerve damage. Here's what makes potatoes particularly sinister. They're everywhere in the modern diet, and they're often disguised as healthy choices. French fries, mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, potato chips, hash browns, potato salad. Americans consume an average of 125 pounds of potatoes per year. That's a lot of blood sugar spikes, and a lot of potential nerve damage accumulating day after day. I've worked with diabetic patients who couldn't understand why their foot numbness kept getting worse despite taking their medications religiously. When we analyzed their diets, many were eating potatoes in some form with almost every meal, thinking they were making healthy choices by avoiding obvious sweets. But those innocent potatoes were spiking their blood sugar just as much as candy would, sometimes even more. The really tragic part is that the nerve damage from repeated blood sugar spikes can be irreversible. Once those nerve fibers are damaged by glycation, they often can't regenerate properly. The proteins that make up nerve structure become permanently altered, like trying to unburn a piece of toast. The damage is done and can't be undone. That's why prevention is so much more important than trying to treat nerve damage after it's already occurred. And here's a crucial point that many people miss. You don't have to be diabetic for this to affect you. Anyone who regularly consumes high glycemic foods like white potatoes can experience blood sugar spikes that damage nerve tissue over time. It's just that diabetics are more susceptible, and the damage happens faster because their blood sugar control is already compromised. The starch in potatoes also feeds harmful bacteria in your gut, creating an imbalance in your microbiome that can contribute to systemic inflammation. This inflammation can reach your peripheral nerves through your bloodstream, adding another layer of damage to already compromised nerve tissue. What's particularly frustrating is that potatoes are often recommended as a healthy carbohydrate choice because they're not processed. But from your nerves' perspective, there's no difference between eating a potato and eating pure sugar. Both cause the same damaging blood sugar spike that leads to nerve damage over time. So there you have it. The 3 vegetables that could be secretly sabotaging your nerve health and making your foot numbness worse. Spinach with its mineral-stealing oxalates, tomatoes with their nerve-disrupting nightshade compounds, and white potatoes with their blood sugar-spiking glycemic punch. Now, I know this might be overwhelming. You might be sitting there thinking, great, now I can't eat anything. But here's the thing, knowledge is power. Understanding how these foods affect your body gives you the ability to make informed choices about your health. If you're dealing with foot numbness, tingling, or any kind of nerve issues, I'd strongly recommend trying an elimination diet. Remove these 3 vegetables for 4 to 6 weeks and see how you feel. You might be absolutely amazed at the difference it makes. And remember, this isn't about never eating vegetables again. It's about eating the right vegetables for your body and your specific health condition. There are plenty of nerve-supporting vegetables out there that can actually help improve your symptoms instead of making them worse. If this video opened your eyes to something you'd never considered before, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me reach more people who need this information. And if you found this helpful, you absolutely need to subscribe to this channel, because I regularly share health insights that most doctors simply don't have time to discuss with their patients. Hit that notification bell too, because YouTube's algorithm is tricky, and you don't want to miss out on information that could genuinely improve your quality of life. Drop a comment below and let me know. Have you noticed a connection between any of these vegetables and your nerve symptoms? I read every single comment, and your experiences might help someone else who's struggling with the same issues. Remember, your health is in your hands, and sometimes the smallest changes can make the biggest difference. Until next time, keep questioning everything and never stop learning about your amazing body.